Most Canadians spend their whole working life putting money into their RSP, but almost nobody explains what actually happens when it's time to start taking money out. Biggest questions I get asked: does your RSP disappear? Do you lose control of it? How much do you have to withdraw? And why are some retirees shocked at tax time because no tax was taken off? Today, I'm going to break down the RRIF minimum withdrawal rules in plain English, what happens when your RSP turns into retirement income, how the withdrawals work, and the mistakes retirees should avoid. I'm Zena, Certified Financial Planner at Astra Financial. At Astra, we help people transition from saving from retirement to actually living retirement. And that means turning on the tap and creating income in a tax-smart and sustainable way. And today, I want to talk about one of the biggest retirement transition moments Canadians face. What happens to your RSP when you retire? I've got a retirement course that was just released, and I'll put it down in the notes below. You can go in. There's way more in-depth in the course. I want to talk about one of the biggest misunderstandings people have, and that's thinking their RSP somehow cashes out automatically at retirement. It doesn't. Your RSP simply gets rolled into something called a RRIF. So what is a RRIF? It stands for Registered Retirement Income Fund. Think of it like this. Your RSP is the saving money bucket. Your RRIF is the paying you income bucket. And it's one where we turn on the taps. The bucket name changes, but what's inside the bucket can stay exactly the same. So if you owned mutual funds, GICs, ETFs, stocks, or other investments inside your RSP, those investments usually stay exactly the same when it moves into a RRIF. You're not forced to change everything. You can, but you still own everything exactly the same in there. You can still make changes later. So you can buy and sell investments inside the RRIF bucket anytime. If you want a little more thought around how your RRIF should actually be invested once you start retirement income, you can check out my podcast. It's The Heart of Your Retirement, and it's episode 126. So it's a blog on our website as well. Also, the retirement course has way more in depth. That episode 126 though, sorry, there's no video. It's just an audio podcast. This is a new thing for me. And I talk about the retirement income investing, building income streams, essentially what should be inside your RRIF when you start turning on the tap. So make sure to check that out. Okay, here's the big difference once you move into a RRIF. The government now requires you to take money out every single year. Why? Well, the government allowed you to delay tax while you were saving in your RSP, but eventually CRA wants to start collecting some tax on that. And so they come knocking on the door, and they have created a formula to help with that. The minimum withdrawal is based on your age, your RRIF value on January 1st of that year, and then CRA applies a percentage formula. So here's an example. Let's say you're 72 years old. Your RRIF was worth $500,000 on January 1st. At age 72, the minimum RRIF withdrawal percentage is 5.4%. So 500,000 times 5.4 is $27,000. So your minimum withdrawal for the year would be approximately that $27,000. And that amount is taxable to you. The important part, the minimum has no tax withheld by default. This surprises a lot of retirees. By default, there is no tax withheld on that minimum RRIF withdrawal. That means if your minimum was that $27,000, you could receive that full $27,000 deposited into your bank account. The problem is many people might spend all of it and then forget they still owe income tax later because you know who's knocking on your door. Now, you can request tax to be withheld, and honestly, many retirees should. Your financial planner, they'll be able to estimate and come up with that and take it off each payment. If you wanted 20% tax withheld from a monthly RRIF payment, example, your gross payment is $2,250 a month, tax withheld at that 20% is $450. That means net deposited into your bank is $1,800. That $450 gets sent to CRA on your behalf. It's like a prepayment each month to tax. Now you get to choose how often you want payments, and this part is flexible. You decide how often you want income, options monthly, quarterly, semi-annual, annually. It's really about what fits your lifestyle and cash flow plan. Now you receive a tax slip every year at the end of the year, so expect that tax slip called a T4 RRIF. It shows the gross amount you withdraw, the amount that you've taken out, and then there'll also be the box for any tax withheld already sent to CRA. I want to share some common questions people have asked me. Do I have to convert my RSP to a RRIF? Yes. By the end of the year you turn 71, your RSP must be closed and it rolls into a RRIF. Next question I get asked is, can I take out more than the minimum? Yes, you can always withdraw more, but extra withdrawals usually have withholding tax applied immediately, right off the hop. Can my RRIF run out of money? Absolutely yes. If withdrawals are too high or investments don't grow enough. Now, that's why retirement income planning matters. This is why you need to see a professional. Can I still invest inside a RRIF? Absolutely. A RRIF is still an investment account. Your money can continue growing while you withdraw from it. That's the idea, to structure your tap turned on, receive income, and have a portion that will still continue to grow. Okay, here's a tip for couples. You can base the RRIF minimum on the younger spouse's age. This is important. Using the younger spouse's age lowers the required minimum withdrawal, and that can help reduce taxes and preserve savings longer. So that's something we've done in our office. Now, the biggest mistake I see is people treating the RRIF like a giant bank account instead of a long-term retirement income strategy. Now, the goal is not just taking money out. The goal is making sure that that money lasts. I often explain it like turning on a tap. Before retirement, you spent your life filling the bucket. Now, retirement is about controlling the flow from the tap. You want to make sure enough income to enjoy life is paid out to you, but not so much that the bucket empties too early. And you also don't want to sacrifice your lifestyle. So it's a bit of a dance here that we have to go through. So if you're approaching retirement and wondering what happens to your RSP, hopefully a little bit better of an idea now. I've helped out with that. It usually rolls into a RRIF. Your investments can stay the same, but you might want to make a defense strategy inside of that RRIF bucket with the investments. And you can check out other episodes and podcasts for that. And don't forget, there are minimum withdrawals that are taxable. And you really want to make some planning here to make sure that it lasts your lifetime. If you enjoyed this episode, please subscribe. We're trying to get out as much information and educate everyone as much as possible. Thanks.